Greetings to everyone. Today we'll be solving Plotted-EMR from TryHackMe. So I have already ran the RSS scan. Let's take a look at the command I ran. It was RSS scan. Dash A stands for the target we want to scan. That is right here. Then dash dash ultimate is to specify basically the speed of the scan. I have specified 5000. That is a default one, I guess. And then you could specify double dashes, and whatever you specify after it will be passed on to the nmap scan after it finds the available ports open on the machine. Dash A is for the aggressive scan, and then dash O is to output the nmap results in a normal text file. I've already run this command, so let's take a look at the results here. Here we can see port 21 open here, that is VSFTPD 3.0.3. We can quickly take a look if this one version is vulnerable. So I'll say such exploit VSFTPD 3.0.3. And then here we can see there's only one exploit, that is denial of service, and that is of no use for us. Going back, we can see 22 port open. For as such, we don't have any credentials. Let's skip that. Then we have port 80 HTTP running HTTP 2.4.1. We can take a look at this version also, but most of the time this version is not vulnerable to anything. But we should take a look. So that is Apache 2.4.41, but I'm tapping 2.4 just so we can have a clear look at the available exploits here. We can see there's nothing much available for 2.4.41, but the things are for 49 and 50, so we're gonna skip this one also. Then we have put 5900 open here, that's for MySQL, and then it's running MySQL 5.5.5. Then we have port 8890 running the same version that was running on port 80 of Apache, that is 2.4.41. And you can also see here it says Apache 2 default web page, and then also here you can see on port 80 it says Apache 2.4.41. So it's the same it's using the same title, using the same methods of get post. And then here also you can see get post options head, just like in port 80. Sorry if my voice is a little bit rough. It may be because my microphone is not good. Okay, so enough talking. Let's see. Let's take another look here. Yeah, we saw that on port 80 there's a server running, and on port 8890. Okay, so let's open our web browser here, and then just paste in the IP of the machine. Well, the IP of the machine is okay. So let's open our browser and just paste in the IP here, and we are browsing over the port 80. You can see it's Apache 2 default web page. There's nothing else. You can quickly take a look at the page source. Maybe there are some hidden contents or maybe comments that may be useful, but we don't see anything specific here that is of our use. Next thing we can try doing is we can run a go booster scan here. Of course, that's the most basic thing we can do. So let's see. So I'll say go booster dir, and then replace the IP here, and then I'm using the word list here, text list 2.3 medium, with the extensions of PHP, HTML, and TXT. And I'm using 50 threads here to make the scan a little bit faster, and then I'm outputting the contents of this scan to I'll say this 80-gobuster.txt. 80 because I'm scanning on port 80. So hit enter, and let's wait for the results. Till then, we will take a look at the port 8890 that is also running the Apache version. You can see this is the same web page, and then taking a look at the source, we don't see anything that should be of our use. Okay, so we don't see any difference here. Suppose this is a simple web page, not there are not enough contents here. But if you would have any other web page that had tons of lines of source code, and then there's just a one line having a comment that is of use, and you skipped it because you didn't look carefully, and that is because so it's a bit tedious to check every line for comments. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to say curl, and then specify, well, before that I'm gonna go inside the temporary directory, and then let's say wget. I'm gonna download this index.php page from port 8890, and then I'm gonna also download the one from port 80. All right, so let's specify port 80 here. You can also specify port 80. It's not needed because by default it's port 80. And then I have two web pages saved in my temporary folder of port 8890 and port 80. Now I can simply use the difference uh, binary to search if there is any difference in both of the files. That is there any difference in both of the files source code? So that is a useful thing here, and you can see there's no difference. There's no extra line or there's no less line in any of the web page. Now, as we ran a GoBuster scan on port 80, we're going to do the same for the port 8890. So I'm going to say, let's copy the IP from here. And then, oops, really sorry. Paste it here. Oh, it's a bit messy here. Okay, 8890. Little spoiler here. Really sorry. Yeah, then the same commands just like before, and then up to the contents in 8890 because it's a scan of 8890. Our scan is running on port 80. You can see admin and shadow pop up on our scan results. Browsing to admin, you can see we have looks like a base 64 encoded stuff, and then you can also see the page source here. This you can see this nothing else. Here we also have a shadow file that also has base 64 contents. We can quickly decode this stuff using base64-decode command. Just type in here and it says this might be a username. So this string was base64 encoded, and then the result was pasted here in the admin page. Next, let's try decoding this one. Base64-d and press enter. You can see it's right row. Okay, so there's nothing specific here, no use. Now on port 8890, you can see we have portal and then port 80. Port 80 has nothing, so but portal one is interesting. Let's browse over to 8890 and then /portal, and then right here you can see it says open EMR login, and we have a software looks like. So at this point what I will do is I will try some default credentials, maybe like admin. It's my basic instinct to try that always, and you can see it says invalid username and password. Next thing we might try is searching for OpenEMR default credentials type of stuff, and then you can see sorry for the white background, it might hurt your eyes. I'll change it and get back to you. Okay, looks better now. Okay, so it says the first time you log in to the first installation of OpenEMR, you will need to log in as admin with the password of pass. So first time if we log in, we need admin, and then the password is usually pass. Trying that combination, we can see that it was invalid username or password. All right. Okay, so what we can do here, you can see, look at this URL, and let's try going back one directory, and let's see if we can list out the contents of the directory. And you can see we can. Okay, so let's go back again one directory because there's only one file, and then you can see it redirects us back to that login.php file. Okay, let's go back one more directory, and then we are inside the portal, and you can see it redirects us to login.php. Okay, what we can do here is we can look for we can go buster scan at portal. So I will do this, cancel this scan, run this, and I will not output the contents in any file of this scan, and just specify here portal. Stop the scan, and we can stop the port 80 scan because there's nothing useful there. And you can see a bunch of files pop up here. You can see index.php images, and then blah 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 blah. There's a lot more things. You can see also version.php that has of size 0, so this file is not kind of readable. Maybe we have admin.php, we have portal, another, we have test sites. So this looks like there are very many more files, and this is the installation location of OpenEMR. Also, whenever you see any software like this installed on any machine, you can search up quickly OpenEMR, the software name, and then GitHub. So maybe you can find the source code of the web page or the entire software on the GitHub, just like here. So we can see that OpenEMR is a free and open source software. So as it's open source, so we can access the file structure, we can access the database structure, maybe we can access it. So you can see here all the files and the way it's usually installed, I guess. You can see here the version.php that we just found using a GoBuster scan, and the admin.php one. Also we saw the portal, we have here portal, and then inside we have many of php files. Okay, we will take a look at that. Maybe it could be a useful thing. We can see here there are a bunch of results popping up here. We can see images that is of no use. We can see services. We can quickly browse over it. But you can see that all of them are php files, and php files are executable, and we cannot see the source code of php files because it executes the code. Okay, so let's skip that. We have templates and nothing interesting here. We have modules, common, library, public. Let's see the public one. We can see we have access, content, images. Let's browse over to assets. Maybe we can find something interesting here, and then we can see maybe these are the third-party software that are installed or some jQuery. Okay, nothing interesting here. We can see version, and we have admin.php. Let's browse over to admin.php. We can see here we have OpenEMR site administration page, and it says site ID is default, the database name is OpenEMR, site name is OpenEMR, and the version number is there, that is 5.0.1 and then 3. Whenever you see something in bracket after a version number, assume that it's a patch. So you can say that it's version 5.0.1 and then patch 3. It's usually like that for most of the software that you will find online. So we can say OpenEMR 5.0.1 patch 3, and then we can find a bunch of results here. You can see it's patch 3, and then also here 5.0.1 and some um, here you can see it's in brackets, but sometimes the vendor, the one who made the software, will specify it as 5.0.1.3. So they did not put this in brackets, but they just simply added it to the version number. You can see it's a disclosure timeline, so there was a vulnerability found in this, so we can simply put here OpenEMR 5.0.1.3 exploit, and you can see here it says remote code execution authenticated, so we need to be authenticated. And then you can also see this one is also authenticated, so we need to be logged in order to gain the remote code execution. Same for this one and same for the other ones. We can also use our search exploit to look for any exploits that we may miss. So 5.0.1.3, and here we can see we have authenticated RCE to third, and then authentication bypass, and then remote execution authenticated. So if someone sees this, he will of course try it, and so am I gonna do it. So copy this, and then to copy the file to a current directory, I'm gonna say search -m followed with the path, and then we have it copied here. Let's look at what this Python file is doing. You can see here it says an unauthenticated user like us is able to bypass the patient portal login. So there's a patient portal login. I guess it's a bit different from the one that we saw. Let's take a look at that. Patient portal login, OpenEMR. Let's take a look at the images. Maybe we can find how does the patient portal login looks like, and you can see here. So this is a patient portal login, and you can also see the path of this. So this is OpenEMR installation path followed with the portal, and then next was PHP. You can see here that in our GoBuster scan, we found the portal directory inside portal. Yeah, you can see here. So let's see if we can access patient portal login. I'm gonna say portal, and you can say it says forbidden. So it looks like the uh, owner of this machine patched this vulnerability from exploiting. So we're gonna take a step back and look for something else. So let's get rid of this. And we saw that this was authentication bypass, and this has been patched kind of, and there's nothing else we can do to exploit this. So we need to be authenticated in order to gain remote code execution. Okay, so this was our enumeration part. Now we know that we somehow need to get the credentials and be able to log in. All right, you can see uh, we can actually add a new site. So let's try adding a new site. And then you can see it says most OpenEMR installations. So it looks like this is going to install the OpenEMR on this machine. So it's asking for the site ID. I'm gonna say something like haha, I guess. Let's continue. It says welcome to OpenEMR, and then it says before proceeding, be sure that you have a properly installed and configured MySQL server available. So here, yeah, at this point, you can either install a MySQL on your box on your local machine and configure the OpenEMR database on your box, and then link it with this machine by specifying the host, the port name and username, and just specify how to log in. As it asks here that have you created the database or you want to create a database. So if you somehow find the OpenEMR database structure or database file, backup files, and then you import it into your local machine MySQL, and you are somehow able to get the fully functioning database of OpenEMR, then you can specify your MySQL username, password, and link it to this setup tool, and then it will catch it. Then of course you will have your OpenEMR installed on this machine, your version of site ID haha that I specified, and then you can use the default admin password that will be created in your database, and then you can specify it. Then you will be logged in, and then once you're authenticated, then you can gain the RC simply. Another way of doing this is, you can see here, let's cancel this. Yeah, in our RAS scan we saw that we have port 21 open, that is anonymous active login allowed. We will take a look at this. Then we have MySQL here. If somehow we are able to log into the MySQL at port 5900, and then what we can do is we can say that I have already created a database, or you can say that you can say have set up the database, and then it will create another OpenEMR database on the box, and then you can just you can just log in with the username password you will specify during the setup. So this is that easy. Okay, so let's see that port 21 is open and active login is allowed. So let's take a look if we can log in, if there are any files in the FTP. So FTP and then port 21, I'm gonna say it to be anonymous. Press enter again. Oh, okay, we are logged in. Let's do ls. Then ls-la to see any hidden files. You can see this is our directory. So cd this ls-la again, and you can see the three dots are unusual. This is also a directory. ls-la again, and then it says you are determined. So let's download this file, exit out of it, and then cat you are determined, and then again that's the big rule. And then it says wait, I will give you a hint. This hint is actually useful if you read it carefully and apply it the way it says. See if you can access the admin account. So we saw earlier that there's in version 5.0.1.3 patch 3, there was only one exploit of authentication bypass inside portal that is of patient portal login, and that directory is forbidden. We cannot access it, and we cannot do authentication bypass. There are no other exploits. So and also we do not have any admin password. We tried default password. There's no way that we can access it. but it says here that see if you can access the admin account. This hint is not talking about the OpenEMR login. Yeah, instead it's talking about the other things that you can log into. It could be either it cannot be SSH because there's no user named admin in Linux unless someone creates one. That is very odd. We cannot log in into port 80, of course, it's HTTP, but we can log in as admin. We can try to log in as admin. It may be a user in MySQL. Okay, on port 5900. So let's try it. So I'm gonna say MySQL -u admin. Specify dash specify host with dash h. Oops, this is not the host. Okay, IP, and then specify the port with dash p, that is 5900. Otherwise it will go to the default port, that is 3306, or yeah, it's 3306, I guess. Press enter, and then we are in. Sorry for the sloppy cut, I actually got a phone call and I was a little distracted. Okay, so continuing, we are in the MySQL. Let's see that the database is here. Oops, I guess OpenEMR database is also not set up. Okay, so we can, let's say that have set up create the database. So let's click on continue, and then it's asked for the server host. So here I'm going to specify the IP of this machine. Let's specify this right here, and the server port is 5900 of MySQL, of course. Database name should be OpenEMR is the recommended one. Then it's asked for the login name. I will keep it OpenEMR. Then ask for the login password for when PHP accesses MySQL. It should be at least 8 characters long. So you need to set this password. It's important. So I'll say admin1234. Then it asks for the root account of MySQL, that is admin, that we logged in without any password. So I'm gonna keep this root password field blank as the password is blank. Then again it asks for the local user host name, that is this, and then it says the initial user is admin, and then the password for the initial user account, I'll say it admin1234. So these are the credentials that will be used to log into the OpenEMR portal. Clicking on continue, let's see if this works out. You can see it's taking a very long time. Let's see if there's any database added, and you can see OpenEMR has been added. So it looks like the script is working and it's adding the database structure. Okay, let's see. You can see here it says next step, install and configure access controls. You can see here it did everything. Let's click on continue, and then it gives us the information here. It says the host is this, the user is OpenEMR, database OpenEMR, and then everything is successful. Okay, also it says we have the admin user and the password is admin1234, and then we have the administrator access. All right, let's click on continue here, and then again continue. Let's keep hitting continue. Click here to start using OpenEMR, and notice that the site has been changed to haha because we use the ID haha. Okay, so we have admin and then admin1234 to log in. Hit enter, and then we are in. Perfect. Now we know that we can get an RCE once we are authenticated, and now we are authenticated, so let's do it without any further ado. So I'm gonna say search exploit OpenEMR on 5.0.1.3. Here you can see authenticated remote execution. So let's copy this, search exploit -m to copy this in a current directory, and then let's edit this file to see what it is doing. And then we can see here okay, so it will authenticate first of all, and this is the link. We are going to specify the host here, and then it will go to interface main screen.php, and then auth login site default. I'm pretty sure this will not work. Why? Because our login page is not main screen.php. you can see, let's log out first of all. You can see here our login page is interface login at PHP, and this is uh, different from the one specified here. Just for the confirmation, we can try running this the default way. So Python specify the Python file, and then let's remove this. Okay, let's paste the IP here, and let's try running it. Okay, so let's see what syntax we need to run this Python file. You can see we need to specify the host that we did right here, and then dash u for specifying the username, and then dash p for the password, that is admin1234, and then dash c for specifying the command that you want to execute. So I will execute sleep command for 10 seconds. So if it takes 5 seconds to respond, then I'll know that yeah, it worked. Sometimes things do not work, so I'm gonna skip this, because what most of the script do, they just throw out the command and do not wait for the response. They just simply throw out, and then they're like, it should have been executed, and then they do not confirm it, and it will show that command executed, but it may not execute. So this is not a convenient way of confirming whether a command worked or not. Okay, so instead we are gonna take a look at the ping command. So I'm gonna say sudo tcp dump icmp-i -o, that is my TryHackMe IP adapter, and it will listen for the ICMP incoming ICMP packets, and we're gonna say ping our machine. So 10.8.14.24, and I'm gonna specify dash c 5. It will ping us 5 times. Dash c stands for count 5, so it will only ping us 5 times and not infinite. Press enter here, and you can see it says failed to login. Okay, so it failed to login because if you browse over to portal, you hit enter, then this thing will redirect you to the site default, but we have our site named haha. That's why. So what you should do here is we need to edit the script, of course. So nano 45161, zoom in, and then instead of this interface blah 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 thing, uh, let's remove this stuff first. Okay, and then here I'll say interface login site haha, and then let's see if it is used somewhere else. Okay, let's try running this. Maybe this should work now. Press enter here. You can see it says payload executed, but we do not see anything coming here. We do not see any packets coming here. So at this point, we're not sure of what's happening. We do not know. So the buff suit can help us here. Go to the options here, and then add another here. I'm gonna say bind to port 8081. In the request handling, just copy this IP and paste it to here, and then we want request to be redirected to port 8890. I guess this is the right one. 8890, yeah, 8890. Okay, perfect. So whatever the request we made to 127.0.0.1 is relevant, those requests will be redirected to this IP. We can quickly try this. 127.0.0.1 and then 8081. Hit enter, and then you can see it was redirected to this 8890. We can also specify here portal, and then it should take us to the login page, and it did. Perfect. So by this way, we are passing our traffic to burp suite, and whatever we do will be logged into the HTTP history. So let's clear this history, and then here I will specify 127.0.0.1. So whatever requests are made by the Python file will be uh, passed on here first, and then it will go to the machine. Okay, so I'll hit enter here, I guess. So injecting payload executed. Okay. We do not see any payload executed here, but we have the request here. So let's see what's happening here actually. You can see here we have portal interface login site haha. Then this is the request, and in the response of this request we can see that we were logged in. No, we were not logged in, because you can see here password and then username here also. So it looked like we were not logged in, and this is an issue. So now how can we fix it? Simple and easy way would be to look if this is the request that is being accepted when we make our request normally. So I'm gonna run the proxy here, specify the username password, correct username password, go to intercept, run the proxy, hit enter. Then you can see the request is forwarded. Okay, and we have it logged in our HTTP history. Let's just close this, otherwise we will have a lot of traffic. Okay. Okay, so this was our login that was made by the Python. You can see here user agent Python, and then we have the one that was made by us, and you can see here it was portal interface main screen.php auth login site haha. Oh my god, actually, okay, uh okay. uh what we can do here is, mm, we know this login request is working. So what I will do is I will just copy this URL. Let's turn on the intercept, launch the Python script again, and hit enter. We have the request intercepted. We know this thing is not working. Let's just paste the URL that we copied, go again to HTTP history, to the request that we made on our own, copy the parameters from here, because the parameters maybe there is that typo, or maybe they are no longer accepted, kind of. I pasted them. Let's see the response of this request. Forward this. You can see it says 302 found, and then we are logged in. Perfect. Let's intercept this request also. Response of this request, we can see it says 200. Okay, and then looks like we are inside the OpenEMR, and yes, we are logged in. Perfect. Let's forward this, and then you can see here it's going to the edit global.php, and this is where our payload should be. It is base64 encoded, so it could be here somewhere. Yeah, this is here. You can see here echo the base64 string and then base64 -t code, and then it is passed on to batch to execute it. Let's forward this, and then we should have our the response here. Let's see the response of this request, and then you can see the incoming ping packets. So we know that, yeah, it's working. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so let's see, we can quickly also fix this Python file. uh First of all, let's change the URL, because this is not the URL that should be here. Let's go to HTTP history. This is the login URL, which is making the post request. So I'm going to paste it here, and then we can maybe try now. Let's try this ping command again. Let's see if this works. I'm going to turn off the intercept. It says injecting payload. It's stuck here. It's not doing anything. I don't know why. Okay. It says payload executed, but we do not see payload being executed. Let's see what's wrong here. Let's go down, and okay, so we can see the parameters that were passed here. We can compare it to the one that is made in the real request. You can see here new login session management equals to 1. It is 1. Auth provider is default. It is. Auth user is admin, that we will specify. Clear pass is password, of course. Language choice is 1. So parameters are perfectly okay. And This URL is also okay. Sorry for the sloppy cut yet again. I got another phone call. I'm really sorry. Okay, so I'm turning on the intercept here, and we'll see what the script is doing and why it's failing. So Python 2 here, and then let me zoom out so I can see if I'm receiving pin commands or not. Let's restart this. Okay, perfect. Okay, uh, let's do intercept response to this request. Forward this. This 403 forbidden. Alrighty. Uh, why is that so? Okay, because it's going to portal. Oh my god. Okay, let's see what's happening in the script. Why it's going to portal. Uh, of course, because I uh, uh, copied portal here. Let's remove this, and then let's execute this. I've turned on or turned off the intercept. Let's see, and we are receiving the ping packets. Okay, we successfully fixed the script. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to get a reversal from this. Clear this out. Open network listener put 1234. Go to browser, and then we're gonna use the patch reversal here. Get this one, and let's copy this here. Instead of port 8080, we have specified port 1234 here. Just insert your TryHackMe IP, press enter, and we should get a reversal back, and we did. Awesome. Okay, so we are in the box. Let's start our basic animation as usual. Before that, I'm gonna see make my terminal a bit better. So Python 3 dash import pdy respond bash, the usual stuff. Export. Before that, press Ctrl Z, std echo fg, then ls, then export term equals to xterm. Now we can clear the shell. We can autofill. So yeah, this shell we can also Control C, and that will not crash our terminal. So this is a lot more convenient. Let's go back, and here you can see this file is interesting, and this is the flag one actually. Okay, so we have the flag one. Here, let's see what uses on this box. That's the password file. We can see MySQL, FTP, and then Plotted-EMR. Let's browse over to the home directory, and let's see what users are inside this. We can see Plotted-EMR and Ubuntu user. Let's see what's inside Plotted-EMR. Then you can see user text that is only readable by Plotted-EMR. We can also see a backup here. So let's see what's inside this backup directory, and we can see there's nothing inside the backup directory. So maybe there should be something inside the backup directory. Let's see. We can also look for the services that are running, and if there's any services running as root or any other user that we can take advantage of in order to privilege escalate, but we do not see anything like that. We can also take a look at the cron tabs, because there are some commands running after some time usually. So let's see, it's inside cat at the cron tab, and you can see here in the username it's as plot-admin. So plot-admin is gonna run cd www.html, so it's going to this directory, config directory, and the portal directory, and then also it's using the rsync with -t flag and all the files to plot-admin 127001 backup. So what this command, this specific command is doing, it's using rsync to copy the files that are inside config directory, all the files, because this asterisk or the star means all the files. So it's going to copy all the files in the config directory to the backup folder that we just saw in the plot-admin home directory. You can see here the tilde sign, and then slash means the home directory. Also you can see here it says plot-admin @127001, and rsync uses ssh to login, and it then pastes the file there. So it's using ssh to login and then paste the file there. Here, whenever you see any wildcard, this is called wildcard. You should instantly remember the wildcard injection technique that is used in most of the cases. Here, what we can do to take advantage of this is, uh, let's see. Let's first of all browse over to cd config directory. So I'm gonna say this, and inside here we can see here the config.yml and then servers.yml file. Okay, so this is taking the backup of these files. Here what we can do is, let's first of all do dash dash dash, specify the file name. I'm gonna say dash e bash and then shell.sh and press enter here. Let's see if the file is created, and you can see the file has been created. You may be wondering why I created this file. Well, this is a way of taking advantage of wildcard injection. Here dash e is used to execute a system command in rsync, and also you can see here I specified dash e bash shell.sh. Now inside the shell.sh I need to specify the command that I want to execute. So of course there's going to be a reverse shell, so I'm going to say echo uh, let's go here and then reverse shell cheat sheet. Let's copy this reverse shell, paste it in here, and instead of 18080 I want to say, oops, what just happened? Well, echo, I guess I need to type it manually. It's then inside shell.sh. Okay, I'm gonna launch a netcat listener port 9001. So now let's take a look at how's the things. Okay, so what will happen here is rsync will execute the cron command, and let's take a look at the cron command. Get etc cron tab. Here you can see it says rsync-d, and then it select all the files. What wildcards do, they will replace this star with the file name, with the every file name that is inside the directory. So here this command would be something like, let's open mousepad. So this command will be something like rsync-d and then the file names. So you can see the file names here are yeah, here dash e shell.sh. So these are little inverted apostrophes, you can say, they will be removed, and it will be something like dash e, and then the file, it will think that this is a file name, but it will be passed on as argument. So it will be dash e syntax, the bash shell.sh, and then it will take another file name, that is config.yml, and then the other file names, of course. So instead of typing all the file names, I'm going to just say three dots, and then the rest of the command, that is plot-admin this. Okay, so it will copy these files. Oh, sorry, it will actually execute this file shell.sh. So, and the shell.sh contains our reverse shell thing. So that is why once this executes, we will have a reverse shell as plot-admin. And so we did here. I hope that explanation was useful. If you did not understand what I just told you, or do you have any other questions, you can join the Discord server, and the link is down below. And you can message in the server, and someone will help you out. Okay, so that being said, we are inside as plot-admin. Great. Okay, let's do export term equals to xterm, just so that we can clear the shell. Okay, now once we are in, we can look at other ways of privilege escalation, and we can also, let's go to our home directory first. You can see we have a user txt file here. We also have .ssh folder. Maybe we can ssh using the IDRSA. So let's copy this file. I'm going to launch a Python server here, so python 3-m http.server 1234, and then I'm going to say wget, specify the IP of the machine here, with port 134 and then the file name. And I have the file downloaded. So let's do ssh plot-admin idrsa.1 dash I specify the file name. And let's see, well, I specified the wrong IP here. Also, I need to do chmod 600 in idrsa.1 file because these are permissions needed for a private RSA file. Hit enter and we should be logged in by in no time. Oops, I again specified the wrong IP. I'm really sorry. Okay, we'll specify yes, and we are in. Okay, so this is a bit better shell, or a lot better shell actually. So you can see there's nothing inside the backup. I don't know why, but command worked of rsync. We can see inside Ubuntu also there's nothing interesting here, and we can take a look at the capabilities here. They can be capabilities defined that we can take advantage of. So dash r is to recursively search every binary for capabilities from the root directory, and to return dev null is to specify that do not output any errors on the screen, instead send them to dev null. If there is one greater than, that means one greater than means all the success should be output to this directory, that is dev null. If it's two greater than, that means all the errors should be sent to dev null. Here we can see gap phoner. Gap phoner is a capability that is used to change the file permissions. So you can see that if we can use Perl, we can change the file permissions. So our basic command, basic syntax of Perl is perl-e, and then let's see what's the I forgot the Perl command. So Perl tutorial maybe. Oops. Let us see if Perl is working or not. Okay, so this is the hello world command. Print hello world, and then we can see it worked. Printed out hello world. Okay, so let's search how we can change files with Perl. So uh, changing file permissions with Perl. I can tap today or what? Okay, with Perl. And you can see here it says Perl chmod function. Let's look at the Stack Overflow. I love Stack Overflow. Always gives you the right answer. And here you can see it says we want to use chmod. It says chmod 0755 and then file name. Let's see if this works or not. So I'm gonna say perl-e, then set inverted commas, specify chmod, and instead of 0755 I'll say 0777 to give permissions to every user of read, write, execute. And instead of file name, here you can specify either root.txt if you only want to read the root flag, and if you want to take off the root account, we will change the sudoers file. Sorry, I will change the shadow file and the password file to make a new user of root, and then we will use it to log in. The fc shadow. Oops, I should not have pressed enter. Okay, let's copy this and then specify sc shadow in double inverted commas, and then let's see if permissions changed or not. So let's say ls-la sc shadow, and you can see the permissions changed of the shadow file. Okay, now we can actually use nano to change the sc shadow file, and you can also see the plot-admin password hash here. You can see the Ubuntu password hash here, and then but here we will specify another user named still. I'll say it is still noob, and then we need to make a password for to specify here, and that is used maybe it's sh512, not sure. So I'm gonna search here, make password for shadow file, And so we can see the tutorials here. It says how to create a SHA-512 hash password for shadow. Let's take a look at this. We can also use this make password -m SHA-512. So let's see. I'll say still, and then we have the password here. I guess this should work. So Control Shift C, paste it here, and it specifies 0 here. 00 means the UID is 0. That is usually for root because we are gonna take off the root account. It specifies /root here, and then specify the bin bash here. And press Control X, Y to save it. And we also need to change the etc password file and do the same thing there. So I'm gonna copy this and then just say password, and this should work. Okay, so I will let me just copy the line that I specified in the shadow file, just so I do not have to type it again. And then now let's see password. Go to the end of this file, paste it in, save it, and then just do su still noob, and then password is still of course, and then we are in as root. We can go with the root account, and then we have our root text here. Okay, so this was it for the box. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did not understand or if you did not understood anything, then you can always reach out to me. I'm always, most of them, available on Discord. uh I hope you find this video helpful, and if this video was a bit lengthy for you, I'm really sorry. And if you want the shorter versions without any of the explanation and simple solutions, then make sure to let me know and I will do it. So thank you for watching. See you next time.